sausage muffuletta. Oh. Taking the classic flavors and combining a classic New Orleans style muffuletta with a charcuterie board. All right, starting with, this is not Italian cold cuts. This is whole rope sausage. Take a gander at that.
That's right.
We skewered it with 2 wooden skewers. We cut it in the coil. You can buy this at the butcher shop. And if you don't see it, you know they got it in coils in the back, so just ask them. And we put the skewers in there to keep it contained. We put a little olive oil in there, and watch how easy this flip is. Did you hear it?
Flip it.
Look how nice and brown that is.
So we're just gonna kiss this with a little high heat, give it a nice browning, do the other side. Once that's good, we can take it out again. Look at how easy it is to move with the skewers in there, which we will remove later when we get into that. Now we got all that rendering in the pan.
The best.
To this, we got some fennel. We're gonna add some fresh fennel. I think fennel and sausage are best friends for life, right?
For life.
So we can play on those sweet kind of licorice flavors right there and just slice it like you would an onion. And this is gonna go right into the fat of that sausage. So we got the fennel directly in there. We're gonna saute this fennel for a little bit. We can give it a little salt to help sweat it out, a little more olive oil, grapes.
Okay.
Sausage and grapes.
I can't believe it's going into a muffuletta. Sandwich king, y'all.
My heavens, right? Got some fresh thyme, a couple sprigs of that. Wow, you guys are really in a clapping mood today. Pepper! Once this softens up, we're gonna kind of caramelize all this together. Get it slow and slow. We are going to deglaze with some balsamic vinegar.
Ooh.
Do it.
We got sweet. We got the black licorice. We got the herbs in there. We got the sour. We got everything. This is gonna go in the oven. We're gonna nestle that sausage back on top.
Oh, yum.
Again, if it's this thin, it could cook through pretty quickly, so it doesn't need to go back. But if it's like thick rope Italian sausage, you wanna bring it to 160, 165, of course, while all this kind of caramelizes in the oven. Oven at 425. It's gonna go in there, again, depending on your thickness, the internal temperature, but I wanna show you what this baby looks like. Look at that, beautiful, right? So we have that sausage, we have all that beautiful, cooked down grapes.
The fond.
The fennel. Let's grab that bread.
Let's do it.
I have it in the oven, just kissing it a little, about 200 heat here, just till it's nice. And you hear that? If it's a little past its prime, just throw it in the oven for a little bit, not too high. And then you got this beautiful bread. Now we can start building here. So I'm gonna take some of this out to keep the ratios pure and right. So I am gonna take this bread out. You can use that something later. Now we can start building. Another integral ingredient in muffuletta, tapenade. This is green olive tapenade. Tons of oil, tons of flavor in there. Salt, punchy. So you can spread this. We got that tapenade on there, and again, that fennel and grape sauteed right there. Just a nice little schmear on there. Now we can put our sausage intact right on top of there. Look at that ratio. Right, crust to crust.
I was wondering about that.
And now we can take out that skewer just like that. I'm gonna actually spread a little bit of that on top.
Do it.
We're gonna get that oil. And again, right, there's a ton of oil in here. Just a little bit of feta on there, just to even it out. Now we can close that, bring it over. First, we gotta cut it, right? Because I have a whole system
You're not
for
gonna
a
mush it
picnic
down.
packing job here for the muffuletta.
Oh, you're gonna pack it for us. Okay.
Oh, because it's gonna be hard,
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, I get it.
We put it on your finest linen.
Fancy.
Now we take 2 corners. Thanks, Martha. In the middle.
Oh,
Good job, Martha.
Jeff.
This is very Martha
Did you
Stewart.
say Martha?
You know she's watching.
It works, it's balanced, it's delicious, it's moist, and what a perfect picnic sandwich.
Paige, my second-born child, is back. She is living close by and working on the ranch with her dad, and it has been so much fun. She's living in my in-laws' house in Pawhuska, and so I am going to pack up some food and take it into her that she can eat over the next days, the next few weeks, and I just want to show her how excited I am to have her home. So I am making her a pot of sausage, potato, and corn chowder. Paige loves soup. Potato soup is her favorite. So this is kind of a bumped up version of the soup she has loved her whole life. So I have browned some breakfast sausage and it's all nice and crumbled. So piece by piece, I'm getting it out of the pot. All right, I'll set the sausage to the side for now and crank up the heat just a bit. And I will add onion, carrots, and celery. Perfect start for a soup. And Paige loves vegetables, so I kept the chunks kind of big. All right, I need to stir the veggies around and let them cook for a few minutes. All righty, the veggies look great. They have some nice color and flavor from that sausage, yum, yum. So the potatoes go in now, and these are just peeled potatoes cut into chunks. You can use russet or like Yukon Gold would be delicious too. I'll stir the potatoes, and then I'm gonna add the corn. This is fire roasted corn from a bag, just frozen. You can also shave kernels off of cobs and just add fresh corn. Either one works. Stir those, and then salt and pepper and some crushed red pepper, which gives the soup / chowder a really nice spice. All right, that mixture is looking good. So now comes the liquid for the chowder, and it's just chicken stock. Low sodium works well. It looks good so far. I'm gonna let this cook for about 10 minutes. In that 10-minute period, the potatoes got so tender, and that's why it's great to cut the potatoes into small chunks. Just makes them cook that much more quickly. All right, this soup has a couple of really small stages. None of them are complicated. I'm gonna thicken the soup a bit and make it creamier by mixing some half and half with flour, and I'll whisk it just to kind of bring it together. And this is kind of what turns the brothy soup into more of a chowder. So this goes into the pot, and the soup is bubbling away, so I'm gonna let it keep cooking for about 5 minutes until everything gets thicker. Wow, this is looking creamy and so lovely. I'm gonna make it creamier by adding, you guessed it, cream. Heavy cream, delicious. All right, I'll stir the cream in, and you actually could just add the sausage and the rest of the ingredients and serve it right away. But I like to puree the soup a little bit so it's even thicker and even creamier. I'm gonna leave some texture, but I want a lot of it really smooth. Okay, I'm gonna check the texture. This is pretty much how I do my regular potato soup. I puree it kind of halfway, maybe a little bit more, but then you still have some chunks of potatoes, pieces of corn, little bits of carrots, but the base is now a lot creamier and a lot more kind of potato-y, if you will. To finish the soup, I'll add some grated sharp cheddar and plenty of sliced green onions, which is so yummy. And then of course the sausage, because this is sausage, potato, and corn chowder. You could also just use bacon and add the bacon back in. There's something about the sausage with the potatoes that just really works as a soup. All right, I'm gonna pack up the soup and I'll deliver it later, but let me show you how Paige is gonna serve it. So first, she'll need a cute bowl. Then it's time for the soup. 1, 2, probably 3 hearty ladles full of delicious, chunky, piping hot soup. Then all it needs is a sprinkle of grated sharp cheddar and a scattering of green onions, and that is a fabulous bowl of chowder, perfect for my chowder-loving daughter. Wow, this soup really is perfect for Paige. It's over the top, full of flavor, and she can just have it whenever she wants. She can have a friend over. She can have her mom over.
There are 3 things I love: one-pot dinners, traditional recipes, and cooking with rice. My friend Amelia Duran's here, and she's going to show me her family's favorite shrimp and sausage jambalaya. You've been promising to do this for a long time.
I'm very thrilled to be
So
here.
we're going to cook it together. So what's first?
Well, first we cut the sausage, which you can use kielbasa, which is more found around the country, or you can use andouille, which is a spicier sausage, which
That's
is
more
really
Louisiana. Amelia's from Louisiana.
it's not, but you can find that everywhere. But this is just as good.
Okay, what's first? Put me to work.
I need you to get the oil going because there's a lot of chopping to do.
Okay, good. I'm available.
Okay.
So, how much oil?
About a tablespoon.
Great. So I'm going to put this right in, okay?
Yeah, go get
Fabulous.
started. So that needs to brown for like 8 to 10 minutes. You just want it to render down a little bit and get some of the oil released.
And to sear it a little bit, right?
Yeah,
So you
sear
get
it.
flavor of it. Okay, I'm going to stir the sausage. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
Yeah, I stir the sausage.
So what do
and
you have next?
I'm going to chop the ham. We're going to cube some smoked ham, which is going to add another layer of flavor. So the whole dish is about, flavoring rice. And so you use ham, you use meats and things like that.
Yeah.
So there's a
So
lot
why
of
don't we
chopping.
split it up and
yeah,
we'll do it together.
you take half.
Somebody has to do all the work here. Amelia's family owns a general store in a small town in Louisiana. Yeah. And your father's like the mayor and the specialty food store owner.
My father's the third generation of our store, and it's called Duran's Food Store.
So we're just going to take the sausage out?
Yeah, so you
what you
see
want?
it's nice and brown on the top.
Yeah.
So that's going to really show up nicely in the dish when it's done. And
Get the rice and the shrimp. So this looks fantastic.
And then once that's done, pop in the ham and let it do the exact same thing.
Okay. I like having somebody tell me what time. Okay, next is the ham. And that gets browned for how long?
Brown, about the same amount of time.
Okay.
6 to 8 or 8 to 10 minutes.
Give it a big stir.
You chop the,
What can I prep?
dice the onions for me.
Okay, I could do that.
And then I'll do the celery. And like everything, you want it consistent sizes so everything cooks evenly. The basis of Louisiana food is the trilogy. It's onions, celery, and bell peppers.
And how about I love that there are 3 ingredients you can buy in any grocery store in America. Okay, what's next?
Bell peppers.
Okay.
Okay, which one do you want, red or green?
Red.
Okay. I'll take this one. So same size chop as the onions, same size squares and everything else.
Are there different kinds of jambalaya?
There are. There's one for every family. Everyone has their own recipes. There's 2 kind of style that people follow. One is the Creole version, which is what we're making here, and you'll see it's a tomato base.
Yeah.
It's a derivative of Spanish paella. It's meant to enhance the seafood that goes in it, and this you'll find in New Orleans or in that part of the state. Where I'm from is in the central part, and we make Cajun jambalaya, which has a lot of meat in it.
That's different.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
It's mostly meat-based.
Yeah.
And in New Orleans, it's much more of this Creole style.
Should I take the ham out?
Yep, take the ham out.
Looks beautiful.
Yep, just put it on top of the sausage, because they're all going to go back in later.
It's an old-fashioned traditional recipe, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a peasant dish.
Yeah.
I mean, when the Spanish were in Louisiana, I think they wanted to make paella, so they came up with this version of it, and it's in a larger pot. It's more of a steamed version than in a round pot. Okay,
So
now
what do we
add
put
a tablespoon of butter.
Okay.
Because then we're going to start to cook the vegetables, and everything's better in butter.
Everything's better in butter. That's my trademark.
So all of these vegetables will go in, and they'll saute until they're nice and soft.
Okay. Onion, celery, peppers.
Everything goes in.
Oh, that's really good, isn't it? It's the basis for all of it.
Yeah. And it'll really give it this great seasoning, and it's already in the oil that the meat was in, so already you have this great seasoning going on.
It smells so good.
Is it good?
It smells so good. Okay, what's next?
Then we have to keep chopping. So we have tomatoes, jalapeno, and garlic left. And
these should be cubed the same way?
cubed and seeded.
Oh, you just want the shell, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And in winter or something like that, you can easily use canned tomatoes. But in the summer, if you want to make this dish with fresh tomatoes, it's delicious.
Should I cut this jalapeno?
Cut the jalapeno. Make sure it's seeded.
Yeah, no, it's very, very seeded.
So that's a little bit of a twist. I like the flavor of jalapeno, but typically I think in Louisiana you would put cayenne pepper. But you can substitute. I like the flavor of jalapeno.
Fresh jalapeno.
Yeah.
I do too.
But that's the beauty of it. You can add anything you want. I think you could probably add mussels and make it a completely,
that'd be great. Yeah. Seafood thing.
Seafood thing.
Yeah. And I love that the rice is really the vehicle for all the flavors. That's what's wonderful. Because rice on its own is really a fairly bland thing. But it's a vehicle for all of these incredible flavors. Yep. Okay, so we've got tomatoes, jalapenos, and lots of garlic.
Lots of garlic.
Okay, so big stir. What's next?
The herbs. So I'm going to put in some oregano.
I love that you use fresh herbs.
Chop this, yeah.
No, usually I use dry oregano because I think fresh oregano is too strong. But this is just a little bit of oregano in a big pot of...
In a big pot.
So does this just go in the pot?
Yep.
Okay. That works. Okay, oregano, thyme.
Okay.
The knife handoff.
And then we need 2 tablespoons of tomato paste.
Okay, I can
And
do
that'll
that.
just further enhance the tomatoes that we already added. stir that up.
Okay.
And then we'll add the chicken stock, fresh chicken stock.
Yeah, I'd say homemade chicken
Homemade
stock for
chicken
this is really important. So this just goes right in?
It needs to come to a rolling boil so we can get
Okay.
the rice ready. It's almost there. Look at all the colors.
It smells so good. So how much rice?
3 cups. I like to rinse it because there tend to be some impurities in the rice sometime.
And what do you use long grain rice?
I like it because it doesn't get as mushy. It kind of stays nice and firm, and it's really the basis of the dish, so it kind of has to hold its own.
And nobody likes mushy rice.
Nobody likes mushy rice. So,
3 cups. I'll wash it.
yep.
This looks like a lot of steps. We're halfway through, and believe me, it's worth it. And it's one big pot, and you've got dinner. So what's next?
Okay, I think we have to add the rice because
Okay,
the water's
great.
boiled. So here we go.
So 3 cups of rice, and we washed it. And just add it right in?
Yep. And then
Okay.
give it a big stir.
And we've got all kinds of things. We've got peppers and celery and onions and jalapenos and so much flavor.
Then we
and this
add
is the ham and the sausage that we've already sauteed. Put it right back in. I mean, how bad can this be? It's really fabulous.
And it only gets better. There's more to
Oh,
come.
my God.
And then we add some bay leaves, about 3.
These are the biggest bay leaves I've ever seen, but they're fresh, which is
Yeah,
great.
it's great.
You can find them.
And then now salt and pepper.
Okay.
So 2 teaspoons of salt.
Okay.
Why do you use kosher salt?
I just think it's a little softer. It doesn't have that sort of metallic flavor of regular salt.
And about a teaspoon of pepper. And about 6 to 8
hot stuff.
dashes.
6 to 8 dashes, and what do they do, like 22 in Louisiana?
Well, then you add it after you put it on your plate.
Oh, that hurts.
You kind of do it to taste. But this just
I
makes
lost count.
it's enough.
Okay, what's next?
Okay, well, it's got to come to a boil. Then we can get the heat down. Put the lid on and let it simmer for 20 minutes. Meantime, chop a 1/2 cup of scallions, 3/4 of a cup of fresh parsley, and then we're ready for the final step.
So the rice is cooked, and you're not going to believe this. Whoa.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Isn't that gorgeous?
It's really colorful and
It's amazing. Okay, what else do we have to put in? It's almost done, but we have a few more things.
about a 1/4 cup of parsley, fresh
Okay.
chopped parsley. And this, you just get the final herbs going in, which gives it a lot of flavor. A 1/4 cup of chopped scallions.
Okay, like that.
And just leave a little off the side to kind of decorate the plates when
Oh,
they're done.
I like that.
And everything else.
Okay.
And then we're gonna add the lemon juice.
Okay, how much lemon juice?
I think that's about a
1/4 of a cup? Okay.
Off the heat.
Turn off the heat? Okay. Oh,
And
that's
at
interesting.
this point, we're gonna drop in the shrimp
Yeah.
and then stir it in and then put the lid on top, and that's gonna steam them.
Oh, so the heat really steams them, and they just cook slowly. And so, oh,
Well,
love
you
this recipe.
overcooked shrimp are never good, so this kind
Bad,
of just
really bad.
steams them really nicely. And so you just get them buried under the rice, and then you close the lid for about 15 minutes and let it kind of sit in.
And all the flavors go together,
Yep.
and the shrimp cooks, and I don't think I'm going to be able to wait 15 minutes.
We'll have to find something to do in the meantime.
So just put the lid on?
Yep.
And this is off.
And we wait about 15 minutes, and then
Yeah.
when we open it, the shrimp will be pink.
So much fun. I love cooking with Amelia.
Yeah, anytime.
This looks so amazing. I can't wait to taste it. I've always wanted to have Amelia's jambalaya, and now I'm going to have it. It's got so much stuff in it. It's just fantastic. All the rice with shrimp and ham and sausage and herbs. Oh my God. It's
beautiful.
This is amazing. It is definitely dinner in a pot.
Sausage stuffed onions.
Onion.
How about that? Let's get to our onions first. So I'm using red onions. You could totally use yellow onions for this. Cut them in half. And the key here is to get the onion to fully cook.
Yeah.
When I tried it with a whole onion, it wasn't the same. I like them halved. So, and I just put a little foil in my baking dish so that they don't stick and that they don't stain your baking dish. And then I use a little melon baller to go in here and scoop out the layers of onion.
I love that.
Yeah, you could also use a paring knife, but this is just really easy to
Could
do.
you use like Vidalia onions, a real sweet onion?
Oh, a Vidalia would be delicious.
Maui onions?
You can use any onion you want, guys.
I like that red onion
I do
because
too.
it's got a great texture. It's
Yeah.
got that crisp, like cucumberiness.
Yeah, and it's pretty, right?
It's red.
All right, so you just want to take it down to one layer of onion.
Wow.
Yeah. So we want lots of room for the sausage. So I'm gonna get it all scooped. Ah! This is almost like you want to wear swim goggles so that you don't cry. Okay. Okay. So I got that one done here. Now, we're not gonna waste all this onion.
Heck no.
You wanna caramelize these onions, cook them down, little white wine, till they get like this, okay?
Wow.
Beautiful.
Nose to tail onion cookery.
Absolutely. Now, you put these onions, little oil on there, little salt, little pep. They go into the oven, 400 degrees for a half hour.
That's a long time. I like
Pop
that.
those in.
We gotta get those babies
You want them to
cooked.
get nice and tender. I've got some here that are already done.
Al dente onions. Cooked, not good.
Oh, look at that color.
Yeah, yeah. So now I'm gonna take my caramelized onions. I've got a pound of Italian sausage here. You can use sweet Italian sausage. You can use hot Italian sausage, whatever you like. You can use chicken Italian sausage. Caramelized onions go in. This is packed with flavor. Thyme is gonna go in that Alex so expertly chopped for me. I'm gonna give this little dish back to you to put a little garnish in. And then I'm gonna add some panko breadcrumbs, some Parmesan cheese.
Oh, now
Jeffrey,
you're
you could
talking.
use pecorino if
Now
you wanted.
That's my fave.
We've got some chopped up garlic here. You don't really need a lot of salt and pepper because there's already
It's like an
so
Italian
much
meatloaf,
seasoning.
Katie. Kind of.
Yeah, sure, why not? Parsley in. And then Alex, if you can give me some more parsley for garnish, that would be great. And I'm just gonna mix this up
Oh.
till everything gets evenly distributed. You don't wanna overmix it because then that meat gets a little bit chewy. Smells pretty darn good. So now I'm gonna stuff these onions. So I like to use a big ice cream scoop for this.
That's brilliant.
It's a great idea.
Because then you get an idea of portion, too.
PC.
And
Portion
get
control.
right in there. We want this to be a mountain of sausage stuffing.
Yeah, you need that protruding out of the onion. It'd be lost in there.
You wanna get in here with me, Alex? All right, I'm gonna add to the pan a little bit of stock.
I love that for steaming.
Steam it up. Okay, so now I'm gonna add a little bit of white wine in here as well. This is just gonna give us a lot of flavor. And this is gonna go back into the oven 15 minutes. Then after 15 minutes, you're gonna take it out and add some Parmesan cheese to the top and another 15 minutes. Oh, man.
Oh, the smell. That we just got that. That was like a whoo.
All right, somebody wanna get that for me?
I got it. I got you. Thanks,
Now,
Jeff.
this is
I'm okay.
technically a side dish, but I think this can double as a main. Look at this.
Side,
I need
no.
4 of those.
With a little salad and again,
nice.
some garlic bread.
The gravy that made would be unbelievable. You dip some French crusty bread in that.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Oh,
Could
yeah.
you just drop some spaghetti
Yeah.
right in there, cook spaghetti?
Oh,
Could, or
why
you can
not?
base as a base of a soup. Imagine making a wedding soup with that.
Oh, man.
Delish. I'm gonna put a little extra parsley on top.
Dare I say that looks very fancy.
It really is,
Fancy.
Katie.
Look,
This is
Oh,
no
that's
Wednesday
beautiful,
night
Katie.
special, my friend.
right?
I love it.
That is gorge. It really is.
Gorgeality.
Gorgeality.
Oh, look at that montaña.
Come on, go in there.
Very dramatic when you cut into it.
It's a lot. Oh, look at that.
Look at that, Jude. Look at
It's like a big meatball.
No, but I love the fact that there's no sauce in this broth. I think that's genius.
I know. You know,
I like it.
sausage it can live without red sauce.
Yes,
you know,
it can.
really can.
Give it the thing. Give it your seal of approval. Thank you, Katie. This
Jeff,
is so
I feel like this is
exciting.
up your alley. Like, I could see you making this.
I gotta repeat what Geoffrey said about just the brothiness of those, you know, the dripping mingled with the stock and the wine you put in there. I cut it in half, I let it hang out. It just sops it all up. The sausage is unbelievably juicy.
And,
Right?
the wine
Oh,
with the cheese. It's
the little
wine and
cheese
the
on top, the sweetness of the onion inside, and the sweetness of the onion on the outside.
Delicious.
Gives you a little texture, a little something to hang on to, you know?
Something, something.
This is so darn delicious, Katie.
I really love chicken and sausage gumbo because you get that smokiness, you get the tenderness of the chicken. It's just a great gumbo. Oh yeah. I am gonna make my chicken and sausage gumbo. So I'm dicing up my Trinity, which is the start of flavor for any gumbo. Celery, my bell pepper, and I've already diced some onion, and I have some garlic to mince as well. So I have some pecan smoked and dewy sausage. It's a smoked sausage that has a little heat to it, and a dewy sausage is what you normally find in a gumbo, but you can use any smoked sausage that you have on hand. So I'm gonna start off by searing my meat first, add just a little bit of canola oil to my Dutch oven here, searing my sausage. The whole purpose and the beauty of gumbo is that it's just like layers of flavor. So when you eat gumbo, you are really tasting different layers of the process. It's just such a flavorful one-pot dish. So I'm just gonna cook off this sausage just a little bit, just get it nice and brown and release some of that oil. While that's cooking, I'm gonna season my chicken with a little salt and pepper. Pull my sausage out now. Some of that fat has rendered out. Add that seasoned chicken breast and chicken thigh. Using the white and the dark meat for variations of flavor and texture. I'm just gonna sear both sides until they're golden brown. So gumbo is literally a melting pot. The origins of gumbo can be questioned, but from my understanding, the origins of gumbo is in West Africa. But there are some French and German Creole influences. So I've seared both sides. This kitchen is starting to smell amazing. All right. Now, arguably the most important part of a gumbo, the roux. I'm making a chocolate roux. That means it's gonna be a deep, deep, rich, nutty roux. You gotta start off with half a cup of all-purpose flour and a half a cup of canola oil. The roux is so significant to a gumbo. It's because it's one of the most important flavor notes in a gumbo. It also acts as a thickener for the gumbo, and it's the reason the gumbo has that iconic color. The darker, the nuttier. A lot of people always ask me, how do you make your roux and do not burn it? It's because you have to babysit. You gotta keep stirring, you gotta keep your eye on it. If you walk away, it could literally burn in seconds. Once a roux goes too far, you can't fix it. So I say just do it right from the beginning so you don't have to go through that process again. All right, so we are there. It is nice and chocolatey. Now I'm going to add my veggies. Cool that roux down so it doesn't cook anymore. And again, you gotta make sure that you keep your eye on it. So I just dropped my diced veggies in there. Now, more layers of flavor. I'm adding some chicken bouillon in there. I like using chicken bouillon paste because it just gives me more concentrated chicken flavor. Look at that, look, get into that pot, y'all. Come on, come on. Look at that. You see how chocolatey that is? How deep and rich that roux is? A little Cajun seasoning, some oregano, paprika, garlic, some cayenne pepper, and another thickener, which is gumbo filet. Gumbo filet is from the sassafras leaf, so it adds a little bit of earthiness and it works as a thickener. Some bay leaves, and now I'm gonna add the liquid, 6 cups of water. Give it a whisk. So this is gonna cook for about 30 to 45 minutes covered. All of those veggies are gonna get nice and soft, and then I'm gonna add the meat back in and cook it for an additional 30 minutes. So in total, this cooks for about an hour to an hour and a half. That is gonna be the perfect gumbo.
I'm making my big, fluffy pancakes and sausage. To get started on my pancakes, I'm gonna whip up 4 egg whites, and beating all this air into them is gonna help them achieve that cloud-like souffle texture. Okay. Now when I can see the tracks of my mixer left behind in the egg whites, that's how I know they're starting to hold those soft peaks. I'm gonna grab a 1/4 cup of sugar, and I'll continue to mix as I add the sugar in gradually. So I'll mix these up to stiff peaks now. I'll set these aside and then mix up my yolk mixture. I've got 1/2 cup of whole milk, and I've allowed it to come to room temperature because I'm about to add some melted butter, and I don't want cold milk firming up melted butter. I'll add a splash of vanilla, and I'll whisk this up. All right, and now for my dry ingredients, one of my favorite shortcuts, I'm just gonna use pancake mix. I'm gonna add 3/4 cup of this. I'll whisk together, and now I'll fold in my egg whites gently. I don't want to deflate all of the air that's trapped in them. So to fold, I'm gonna cut down the center, swing it around the outside of the bowl, and then keep on cutting it down the center and swinging it around the outside of the bowl. That allows the egg whites to incorporate without deflating them. These are inspired by souffle pancakes. They're big and puffy, and they get that height from the egg whites. So it's really important that you do these 2 steps. Okay, I've got my pan here that's heating over low. I'm gonna add a pat of butter, a necessary step to every pancake. I'll get this melted and swirl it around. And now to get their signature cylindrical shape, I've got some ring molds. And I'm gonna fill up the ring molds till they're about 2/3 of the way. I'll cover these now and let them cook on low for 10 minutes. And in that time, I'm gonna make some sausage. I'll start with a pound of ground pork, add some salt, brown sugar, fresh rosemary, sage, and thyme. Then mix it up and divide it into balls, and then flatten into a patty. And I'm gonna go for about a 4-inch diameter because these patties will shrink a little bit as they cook. And when they do shrink, then they'll shrink down to the 3 inches that my pancakes are. That's looking good. I'll plop this down onto my griddle. That's what I wanna hear. I'll keep on shaping my patties and let these cook on medium-high heat for 4 minutes per side. I think it's time to flip my pancakes. Oh yeah, they're looking good. They're mostly set, so I know they're ready to flip. I'm gonna flip them right in their ring molds, very carefully, because I don't want them to deflate. They have a nice golden color. It's what I'm looking for. All right, I'll cover these up and let them go for about another 7 minutes. And while I'm in the flipping mood, I'll flip my sausage. Oh yeah, that's some good brown color. I'll plate these up. Oh yeah. This is looking good. And now the moment of truth for my pancakes. Ha! Look how geometrically pleasing. They're so tall and fluffy and round. I'm gonna pile these right on top of the sausage. I'm gonna do a double stack. I need a pat of butter. And the final touch, a drizzle of syrup. Okay, I got a little bit of pancake, a little bit of the sausage. Here I go. They're kind of like eating a cloud covered in butter and syrup.
So I have some butter in the pan, and I have lots of chunky, flavorful things in the stuffing. I've got 2 Granny Smith apples chopped up, 2 stalks of celery, and 2 onions. I'm just gonna saute them until they're really tender. I'll stir them around. In the past, when I used to make a whole turkey, I would put the stuffing inside, and I had to cook the turkey forever in order for the stuffing to cook. And so, of course, the turkey was dry. Not a good idea. So I found if I made the stuffing separately, I had really moist turkey and a big pan of stuffing that was moist and delicious and crispy and crusty on the outside. Now that's good stuffing. Okay, while that cooks, I'm going to put some fresh parsley in. Okay, about 2 tablespoons. Right in with the apples and onions. Tablespoon of salt. Seems like a lot, but wait till you see it's a lot of stuffing. Teaspoon of pepper. Just toss it all together. I'm going to cook this for about 10 minutes until the apples are tender and delicious, and then I'm going to mix it with breadcrumbs. You can certainly make bread stuffing with fresh bread. But I like to take a French boule, one of those round breads, cut it in big 1-inch cubes, and then toast it for about 7 minutes, 300 degrees. And what it does is it crisps it and it dries it out a little bit. And then it'll absorb all the gorgeous flavors of the apples and the onions. It can be very good bread stuffing. I can smell the apples and onions. They're perfectly cooked. Apples are really tender. Wonderful. I'm going to put these into the breadcrumbs, and then I'm going to cook the sausage. Delicious apple and sausage stuffing. So for the sausage, I tried a few different things. I first started with chicken sausage and basil. Sounds good, right? So boring. It was just terrible. And then I started with spicy sausage, like Italian sausage. It was too spicy. So I finally figured out that combination of spicy and sweet Italian sausage was the perfect blend. So that's what I've got, 3/4 pound combined. It's really up to you whether you want more spicy or more sweet. But it's really good, the sausage and the breadcrumbs and the apples and onions. It's just a great combination. Just mash it in the pan so the sausage is really cooked and it's broken up. So this is going to cook for about 10 minutes, and then it all goes together with the breadcrumb stuffing. Okay, while that cooks, a few more ingredients. I'm going to put a cup of cranberries in. It is Thanksgiving. Cranberries are appropriate. And just to make sure it's really moist, a cup of good chicken stock. And the sausage. Perfect. Spicy, sweet. Just dump it right in. Does that look delicious? Big spoon. Just toss it all together. Put it in a pan. Yikes. Cook the stuffing for 30 minutes until it's browned and crusty on the top and hot and delicious inside. And I would say that looks like Thanksgiving.
So the idea I'm running with is really great for crowds. Sheet pan sausage and pepper hoagies. If you have some hungry mouths to feed, this is one of the easiest ways to make that happen. I'm just prepping some peppers, got them on the last one. You can use whatever color of bell peppers you want to use. I've got red and orange and yellow. I think bell peppers are absolutely delicious, especially baked in the oven, and especially when you mix up the colors and just make them extra enticing. So I'm gonna go onto the sheet pan with all the veggies. Aside from the bell peppers, I've also got big chunks of onions, and I'm gonna kind of break them up a little bit when I get them on the pan, just so they aren't in quite as big a chunks. So now that I have the veggies on the pan, I'm gonna drizzle on plenty of olive oil. And then just for some really nice flavor, I'll add about a teaspoon of dried sage. Kind of smells a little bit like Thanksgiving. And some salt and pepper. Okay, you want to really coat all the veggies in that oil. Okay, now I've just got to nestle 12 spicy Italian sausages in among the veggies. Now it's just about getting them into the oven to cook. So much better than standing over a hot skillet. The baking goes like this. I'll put them in a 425-degree oven for 30 minutes until the sausages are cooked through, vegetables are tender. It smells so good in this kitchen. I'm about to show you why. Look at this sheet pan, those sausages and peppers and onions, glorious. Now I think these are delicious on their own, but for me, any sandwich I make has to have a great spread. And the one I like to make for this sandwich is so simple, it's almost funny. All it is mayonnaise, along with some grainy mustard. Any kind of mustard works. And gourmet, just kidding, ketchup. I'll give it a stir until it just comes together. I really like this basic combo of mayo, ketchup, and mustard. It doesn't get any more American than that, let me tell you. Okay, now to build the sandwiches, I'm gonna slice the sausages into pieces rather than leaving them whole. And each sandwich gets 2 sausages. Woo, nice and hot. Okay, now to build the sandwiches, I like to use big old chewy deli rolls, also known as hoagie rolls or sub rolls. And I'll drizzle a really generous portion of sauce on both sides. I split them down the middle. Okay, that is properly sauced. And I'll pile the slices of sausage in there. And I love how big the chunks of veggies are. All right, that's one big, beautiful sandwich. Now I'm gonna build the rest. Look at these. They're so big and beautiful. Doesn't get any better than this.
I'm making a beautiful cavatappi with sausage, mushroom, and kale.
Oh, yes.
Kale is just amazing. So many kinds. You just hold it like this, nice and green and vibrant. It's how it should look. You just clean it. You can cut this up and saute it if you want. I'm not going to. I've just taken this and I've chopped it up in a bowl. Now, this is a hearty dish, right? So I have my water boiling and I have cavatappi, which is a beautifully curly pasta, which I love because the kale and the sausage and all the good stuff is gonna get inside there.
So cavatappi means corkscrew in Italian.
Corkscrew. And you need it to get all that stuff corkscrewed all together. So what I have here is a little bit of olive oil, and I put some sausage, Italian sausage. I browned, and I've added some andouille sausage, which is a Calabrian sausage that has chili in it, and it's soft. It is, to me, like extraordinary. It's fantastic.
Could
Okay,
you use like a soft chorizo if you
you
can't
can,
find
or
the
andouille. Yes, it is spicy. Beware, buyer beware. To that, I've rendered it down. You see that gorgeous color? Oh.
So do you have regular sausage and the andouille?
Yes, I've added some garlic. I'm gonna stir that in, turn the heat up, and then I'm gonna add some mushrooms. Not a lot, just a few. I have cremini, chanterelle, some shiitake.
Wow,
I'm just
this is
get
gonna
them.
be
This is gonna
good.
be really good. So I'm not putting a lot of color on them. I just wanna get them in there and get them softened up.
Why have you opted to take the stems out of the kale? Texture?
Texture, and I think when you're eating a dish like this, it's not like you're having, you know, a braised piece of meat or like pork, or you're expecting this to be some crunch in the stem or two. Not for this. You really want to taste just pure kale. Now, to this, the mushroom's are almost there. I don't have to add salt or pepper. Trust me, it's fine. I'm gonna add a little white wine. You could add red wine if you so desired, or Lambrusco would go well with this. A sparkling Lambrusco.
Could I add white wine vinegar if I wanted to avoid the alcohol?
That's a good question. Of course you could. Yeah. And now we're just gonna let that simmer. And what that's gonna do is continue to cook the mushrooms a bit. And to this, we're gonna add our kale. Just gonna drop it on top.
It's the sound of the bubbling, right? It's the sound of dinner. We don't talk enough about it. We're always talking about how it looks and how it tastes and how it smells. But what about sound? I smell dinner and see it and feel it and hear it.
And I just want to say, fiber alert on all that kale.
Kale is amazing, packed full of sulfur. It has an amazing amount of vitamin D, sulfur, potassium. It's just so good for you.
And you know, kale's full of calcium.
Yes.
It's got good iron in there. It's so healthy. It's one of the reasons that I love it so much. I love the way it tastes, but kale is really good for you. Jeezy, how much do you cook that kale?
It's done.
Just wilt it down.
You want to wilt it. It does have like a little tooth feel to it, but this pasta can handle the sausage and the kale. This is a tough pasta, cavatappi. Okay, so we have our cavatappi here. Now we have a little water, a little cooking liquid. I'm adding a touch of this because there's some starch in it. We don't, you know, it's going to thicken up a bit, but I think it's in really good shape. Now I'm putting this in. It's al dente, so it's 85% cooked. It's gonna end up cooking a little bit more in this.
I really like going straight from the pot into the sauce because you still have a little water on there.
But it's also like, you know, you don't have to take
The
it
sink
over to
and the
sink
colander and the...
Look at that.
So you're putting some butter in there?
I'm gonna put a touch of butter in, but not yet. I just wanna make sure we get the liquid reduced to that liquid is just coming down, and this is what we do with every pasta. We're just gonna look for it, and I can feel that the pasta is perfectly cooked, and now I know that that pasta has all of the sauce inside of it. Then we're gonna put a touch of butter and a little bit of Parmesan cheese, and shut the heat off. You wanna put the cheese just a little bit at a time. A lot of people put too much cheese in too early, and you get those cheese curdy clumps, you know?
Yeah.
So just go like that. You can stir it if you want like that.
It's really one of your signatures, Geoffrey, is you know, like perfectly buffed nails. You like a little dot of butter to make everything glossy.
Just a bit. I mean, if you go in northern Italy, they use a lot of butter. In southern Italy, they use less. But I think a touch is necessary. And there's a lot of chefs in the city. You go to their restaurant, you're like, oh, he's from the north, he's from the south. You can tell they're cooking right away. We're done. Shall we?
Plate it up.
Okay.
Alex and I are sitting here just drooling, stomachs growling, like we've just been lost in this pasta. It looks so good.
Who wants this? Okay.
I love that you give me a spoon.
You need a spoon with this dish.
I love that. All right, here goes. The sausage has the meat flavor, but the mushroom gives the meat texture, so it's almost deceptive. And the mushroom is silky. The kale is sort of the connector between all the parts of this dish. Everything belongs, and it's just deeply delicious.
I'm gonna make my sausage creamed collard greens.
Sausage cream collard
You
greens.
gotta have some meat, you know? So I'm gonna show you, first of all, we already talked about the beautiful collard leaf. How do you strip it? And the reason you wanna strip it is because this rib is very toothsome and crunchy. But I like to say in my family, we cook collards till they're dead. So a lot of times I would just flub growing up and I'd leave that rib in. The longer you cook it, the more tender and flavorful it is and juicy and all that good stuff. Soaks up all the flavor from your pot. So just kind of take it, fold it in half, and then just go up the rib. And when it stops ripping, that little tiny thin piece of the rib can come along with it at the very tip right there. And then I fold it over and I roll these up. I always tell people the way you know I'm not a chef is I don't chiffonade, I make thin strips. So just go along that roll there and make thin strips and put it in our big old bowl here, getting ready to blanch. Now, I've got a pot, boiling water. We're gonna blanch these before we braise and cook them, just to get a nice bright color out of them. Plus, they are so tough, it's nice to kind of do a quick tender for them. So into the salted water. You know the rule about this is just right when you see them going light, bright green, you might have to do this in batches. And this happens really, really fast. You're gonna pull it out, get it into some ice water to stop the cooking and keep that bright, vibrant color. You can kind of see the difference between blanch and not blanch. And then transfer it to a tray with a little bit of paper towel in there. All right, so in the pot right here in our Dutch oven, because we were hanging out with a Dutch oven today, I've got some Italian hot sausage, right? I went in and I added some red onion and then garlic as well. Just cook it down, break it down to nice little, kind of like, think about getting it on your spoon or your fork size. Do you know what I mean?
You took it out of the casing?
Took it out of the casing,
Okay,
yeah.
yes.
In my bowl here, this is gonna be the flavor base. This is some sour cream. Gonna add some heavy cream.
Ooh.
Man.
It's creamed, you know. A little bit of flour. Some allspice, which is not actually many spices, just one. And I'm gonna whisk this up.
It's one of those names that just continue.
Such a liar.
Yeah. So the last ingredient I want to add here is something I want to talk about. I love going down the international aisle and adding something new. And harissa paste or sauce you can now get in the spice aisle or in the international aisle. It's mild or spicy depending on the brand. You just kind of have to play it out.
But that's look at that color on that. I love that.
You can smell how spicy
good.
this is. So, you know, it's just really to taste, but I give an amount in the recipe. Right into the pot. I'm gonna actually turn this down when I add it because it's kind of going at a high speed right now. Just gonna add this in. Now you're thinking, what?
Yeah, I kind of am.
That's okay.
It's a normal cream, spinach, or anything creamed has a flour base, like a roux base.
Yeah, you need
bechamel.
to start with that.
But this
I am a
doesn't, which is
fan
nice.
of not making a bechamel, but making the bechamel happen, either in the oven or in the pot, you know, instead of sitting and waiting. And this is just gonna take about 20 to 30 minutes. Now, the good thing about this is we were talking about collards is how like they can cook forever and still have that integrity of being fresh and have that crunch. That's what I love about this. So just about 25 to 30 minutes later, and here you go over here. It's done, almost.
Oh, a little pop of freshness.
Yeah, I like to go in and just add in some tomatoes at the very end, some cherry tomatoes, and that's it. Just some hot Italian sausage.
Whoa,
Take your collards, cook them down with some sour cream, some heavy cream. Listen, inexpensive and feeds a crowd.
Wow.
There you have it.
Wow. My mouth is watering.
Jeff, you gonna give this a go?
Heck
Come on,
yeah.
Jeff.
Let me know what you think.
Got my collard fork here.
Is that what you call it? Yeah.
So good.
Just have that for dinner.
I mean, it's perfect with
You can.
chicken, pork chops, fish.
Oh, man.
As much as I love Thanksgiving, and I do, the only thing I don't love is soggy stuffing. My friend Sarah Chase gave me the idea to do a deconstructed turkey, do the stuffing on the sides, and stuff mushrooms. So the first thing I'm doing is taking the caps off 16 big mushrooms. Just take them off like that. And later I'm going to chop them up and put them into the stuffing. So the caps go into a big bowl, just to marinate them a little bit. Mushrooms really can absorb any flavor, because they really don't have much flavor themselves. So I'm going to put about 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And then 2.5 tablespoons of marsala. It's a wonderful sweet dessert wine. It's very often used in zabaione. You can use sherry if you don't have it. Okay, give it a big toss. And that's gonna really absorb the flavors into the mushrooms. Okay, in the meantime, I'm gonna make the stuffing. 2 tablespoons of olive oil. 3/4 of a pound of Italian sausage. I'm using sweet Italian sausage, but you can certainly use hot if you like it hot, or combine the two. It's good and messy, but it makes delicious stuffing. I'm just gonna let this cook until it's nicely browned. Just gonna wash my hands. So this is gonna cook for about 8 to 10 minutes. I'm just gonna crumble it up with a wooden spoon just to make sure it's nicely browned. And then I'm gonna add lots of delicious things. But first, I'm gonna chop some mushroom stems, the ones that I took off, and just put them right in. You wanna use the whole mushroom. There's no reason to let this go to waste. This is a great thing to make in advance, actually, for Thanksgiving. You can assemble the whole dish, put it in the refrigerator, and then just pop it in the oven before dinner. Okay, big rough chop, doesn't have to be perfect. Right into the cooked sausage. And now lots of flavors. I've got 6 scallions all chopped up. You want this to be really spicy and delicious. 2 cloves of garlic minced. Just give that a quick saute. And now instead of putting bread in this stuffing, I'm gonna put panko in, which is dried Japanese bread flakes. And I just think they give a nice crispness to it, which is just what I'm looking for. So about 2/3 of a cup. That should be good. Give it a big stir. This is really smelling like good stuffing. Smell the sausage and the garlic and scallions, and some mascarpone to make it nice and creamy and hold it together. So I need about 5 ounces. I think this package is 8 3/4, so good part of this package. I always use good Italian mascarpone, it makes a difference. Mascarpone is a really creamy Italian cheese. You can probably find in the refrigerator section of your grocery or especially food store. I always try and find the Italian one. I just think it has more flavor. Okay, now off the heat, I'm gonna add 2 more things and some salt and pepper. First one is Parmesan cheese. I'm just doing that off the heat because I don't want the Parmesan to stick to the pan. So about 1/3 of a cup of Parmesan cheese. That should be good. And some fresh parsley. About 2½ tablespoons. And then salt and pepper. Teaspoon of salt. You want this really well seasoned because remember the mushrooms don't have all that much flavor. It's kind of like polenta, it absorbs whatever flavor you give it. So that's the stuffing. Looks delicious. Now I'm gonna put it in the mushrooms. So I'm just gonna roasting pan, put the mushrooms in, and then stuff them with the stuffing. Perfect pan, great. And I think I'm just gonna drizzle the extra olive oil and Marsala wine over it. Okay, time to stuff the mushrooms. Just a regular teaspoon, just stuff each one. And so when this bakes, it's gonna be just tender and delicious and spicy with the sausage. Have so much flavor from the Marsala wine and garlic, parsley. So the top's gonna get nice and crunchy and delicious, and the inside's gonna be really moist. So these are gonna cook at 325 degrees for about 50 minutes. And I made it that temperature because the turkey roast is the same temperature. But if you're doing it with loin of pork, I mean, there's no reason you can't do it without a turkey. Doing it with loin of pork, you can roast it at 400 degrees. Just do it for a little less time. Into the oven, 325 degrees. I can't wait till these come out. And after 50 minutes, this is what you get. Gorgeous stuffed mushrooms, crusty on the top, juicy. Whoever said life's too short to stuff a mushroom couldn't have been more wrong. But life's definitely not too short to eat one. How beautiful is that? The sausage is spicy. You can really taste the Marsala wine. This is gonna be perfect for Thanksgiving.
To go with the biscuits I've got in the oven, I'm making a big batch of sausage gravy. Biscuits and gravy is a cowboy favorite. It's pretty much in their DNA. Everybody absolutely loves it. All right, I've got 2 pounds of breakfast sausage, and I just tore it into small pieces, threw it in a big skillet, and I'm just browning it up, and I'll use this to make the gravy. This gravy is so wonderful. It's really creamy and really thick, and it has little chunks of sausage all throughout. So, so good. So now I'll sprinkle in a little flour. I'll start with about 1/3 cup, and I'm just gonna make the gravy right on the top of the sausage. A lot of times when I make sausage gravy, I'll fry patties of sausage, take it out of the skillet, and then use the grease to make the gravy. But I love this method because you just keep it all in the skillet. It's a lot less work. Okay, now I'll stir this in. I want the flour just to completely coat the sausage, sort of becomes one, and I'll stir it around. It's always been a little difficult for me to give an exact recipe for gravy because there's so much eyeballing that's required. I just sort of look at it, and if it seems like it needs a little more flour, I just sprinkle it in. Okay, this looks perfect. The flour has pretty much disappeared into the sausage. So I'll grab the milk. I'm using whole milk just to make it extra rich and creamy. I'm gonna start with a good 5 or 6 cups. I used quite a bit of flour, so it's gonna thicken up. Stir it around. Now I'm gonna turn up the heat a little bit and let this start bubbling away. I really predict not a drop of this is gonna be left. The gravy is gorgeously thick. It looks just perfect, so I'm gonna season it up. I'll just add a little bit of salt. I don't wanna add too much until I have a chance to taste it. Plenty of black pepper. There's a lot of pepper in this meal. And then just a little bit of seasoned salt to give it extra flavor. Now I'll stir that around. It looks unbelievably wonderful. I could eat it by the spoonful.